one of the key parts of a learning management system is reports. Often administrators are trying to deliver 30, 40 pieces of training to a learner at once. Well, you got to know, did this person actually log in and do these things? So typically learning management systems track what we at Rustici call the big four: time spent, completion status, pass-fail status, and score. Like I said earlier, those are kind of the four things you've got to know, whether it's a verbal quiz, a Scantron, or an e-learning package.
Yeah.
So SCORM has a way to set those values in a learning management system, standard reports, the same way every time, consistently across every platform. Sounds pretty easy to do, but in practice, getting everyone in the world to play nicely like that can be somewhat of a challenge. But it's one that we do every day, and it's kind of the one thing in the world that we're good at is helping to e-learning products in this space play nicely with one another.
Yeah. But the of those four that you said, is completion the most important?
I mean, man, we're getting into pedagogical approaches to learning. I mean, I think learning is the most important. Did the learner learn? Is what we're always trying to produce there. But, practically when it comes to compliance training and things, completion is important. We're on the edge of something I'm not an expert in, which is the pedagogical approach to learning. And I've bumped into people that are adamant, like, all completion is the only thing that matters. I've got others that refuse to send a score. I've got others that mandate a score, and it has to be weighted in these ways. I don't go into that stuff deeply. I'm not an expert in it. But I would say the e-learning standards are flexible enough, and regardless of the e-learning standard you choose, the way they're all designed is that it is the course creator's responsibility to decide how much of the big four to send through.
Yeah.
All of it, none of it. There are courses out there that refuse to track completion because the person who built it said, no, I don't want people to think that this is a mandatory thing. They learn better when it's casual. And so I'm never going to send a completion status. Great. I don't know when you should or shouldn't. I know how to make it happen in those reports, if that makes sense.
But I understand the big four, and that sounds reasonable that you should have them. But I also heard about other where you're putting in trigger questions, so that if someone is failing or not answering what you expect on a special question, then they get sent to a new course.
Sure.
That could be, I heard an example, if you are going to a hardware store, working for an entrepreneur that is in construction, and then you're doing that as a private person, and then when you're going to pay, you use the account for your employer,
Yeah.
Because then you get a discount.
Yeah.
For me, it sounds like a good idea. But
fascinating
if you are answering that you're using
consumers.
this discount code or account number, then you get sent to a new course.
Absolutely. So we see a lot of those things. The line between, is this the e-learning package's job or the learning management system's job for some of those scenarios, is a little blended. What I mean by that is that the creator of the course gets to decide things like, I'm going to share individual questions and answers and whether they're right or wrong and what the right answer should have been, and include a human readable version of the question because later I want to be able to go find things. And it could be that the team wants to be able to look at everyone who took the course ever and identify things like, my goodness, no one ever answered question 3 correctly. Are we not teaching that topic appropriately, or have we marked the wrong answer as correct? Which is probably the mistake I would make. If you don't measure, you don't know. I feel very strongly that teams building and teams deploying content can do a better job if they're studying the aggregate behaviors of their learners.
Yeah.
Others don't want any of those things, and I think that that's fine too.
But when you're saying this, I'm starting to think this should be like a artificial intelligence kind of job.
Maybe.
To monitor and find trends that you wouldn't look for.
And while it seems like an easy thing to do, most learning management systems don't share or send any data back to the people creating the courses.
No.
And so just getting at that report can be impossible for some subject matter experts in ways that, hey, Rustici can help with. We have some distribution tools that do those type of things. However, when we look at, you mentioned something else in there that was, oh, I want an adaptive learning path. I want to be able to recommend the next topic for that learner based on the answers in this one thing. And there are a few different e-learning strategies that are designed to help in those moments. One of them is SCORM 2004, third and fourth editions have a choose your own adventure moment. I'm a kid of the 80s in America, and we used to get these like paperback novels, and you like choose your own story. If you want to go into the cave, turn to page 95. But if the road looks safer, go to page 23. The author has to write all of the permutations, the story, but you give moments for people to have a path. Oh, you got this question right. You clearly understand these concepts. We'll give you the slower version of the course. Oh, you got it wrong. Here's the remediated version. And those type of trees can begin to have a lot of branches.
Yeah.
Or we see learning management systems provide value because each individual learning course is basic, just kicking up time, completion, pass, fail, score. And they know what's in that content and begin to recommend what happens next. Here's the next module you should take. So my point to those weird examples is that you could decide to have an adaptive training course all in one launchable moment, or you could rely on a learning management system to understand their learners, what they know, what they need to know, and assign or recommend the right course to fill in some gaps. I'm agnostic as to which one is best, but both are designed to help this space. And I think it's one of the things that modern learning products are starting to do really well.